A federal magistrate judge in New Mexico has dismissed hundreds of misdemeanor trespassing charges against migrants arrested near the U.S.-Mexico border, delivering a major setback to the Trump administration's new military-backed border enforcement policy. New Mexico health officials have confirmed the state's first measles cases in Sandoval County, raising public concerns due to potential exposures in Albuquerque and Cedar Crest. As the launch of Operation Zia Shield nears, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has approved an additional $750,000 to support the deployment of New Mexico National Guard members to Albuquerque. Former Rio Arriba County Sheriff Billy Merrifield died last month from an accidental overdose involving fentanyl and alcohol, according to an autopsy report released by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator. And starting next school year, freshmen at Manzano, Cibola, and Highland High Schools in Albuquerque will begin a new journey through career academies. From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Friday, May 16th, and I'll have more on those stories plus the weather forecast on the other side of this break.
This episode is brought to you by the Kirtland Partnership Committee. For 30 years, we've been dedicated to supporting, growing, and preserving the Kirtland National Security Complex. We work tirelessly to enhance military readiness, foster community partnerships, improve quality of life, and promote economic development right here in New Mexico. Join us in our mission to ensure that Kirtland remains a cornerstone of national security and a key provider of quality jobs and investment for all of Greater Albuquerque. Together, we can make a powerful impact. Kirtland Partnership Committee, proudly shaping the future of our national security for 30 years.
A federal magistrate judge in New Mexico has dismissed hundreds of misdemeanor trespassing charges against migrants arrested near the U.S.-Mexico border, delivering a major setback to the Trump administration's new military-backed border enforcement policy. Chief Magistrate Judge Gregory Warmonth ruled that the U.S. government failed to show probable cause that migrants knew they were entering a restricted military area, specifically the newly established New Mexico Defense Area, a 60-mile zone designated military property near the border. The government has charged over 300 individuals with trespassing on this land, offenses that could be added up to 18 months in prison. The judge found the government's criminal complaints lacked necessary detail, such as signage visibility, placement, and whether defendants could have reasonably seen or understood the warnings. In many cases, the complaints appeared to be nearly identical and did not specify how close individuals were to posted signs. Warmonth's ruling has already led to the dismissal of dozens of cases, and more are expected. However, most defendants still face charges of illegal entry and will remain in custody. Defense attorneys argued that many of their clients were unaware they had crossed onto military land, often due to language barriers, illiteracy, or the absence of clear signage. The U.S. Attorney's Office in New Mexico has not indicated whether it will appeal the decision. In an unusual move, U.S. Attorney Ryan Ellison had objected to the judge even ruling on the matter, drawing sharp rebuke from Warmonth, who defended his authority and criticized the tone of the government's filings. Legal experts and attorneys suggest the government may have more success pursuing these cases in the future if clearer signage is installed and public awareness efforts are improved. New Mexico health officials have confirmed the state's first measles case in Sandoval County, raising public concern due to possible exposures in Albuquerque and Cedar Crest. The New Mexico Department of Health, or NMDOH, reported that an unvaccinated child under 4 and an adult with unknown vaccination status both tested positive. These infections signaled the northernmost spread of the disease in New Mexico, following 71 reported cases across southeastern counties, including Chavez, Curry, Doña Ana, Eddy, and Lee. Officials warned that the two infected individuals visited several public places while they were potentially contagious. They were at Presbyterian Rust Medical Center's ER in Rio Rancho on April 30th and May 11th, Presbyterian Rust Oncology Clinic on May 1st, Trader Joe's on Paseo del Norte in Albuquerque on May 6th, and Ribs Hickory Pit Barbecue in the East Mountains on May 10th. People who were at these locations on these dates may have been exposed. NMDOH urges anyone with symptoms, which include cough, runny nose, red eyes, followed by a fever and spreading rash, to call 1-833-796-8773. That's 1-833-796-8773. They urge individuals to call this line first rather than visit a clinic directly to avoid further spread. Dr. Miranda Durham, NMDOH's chief medical officer, emphasized that vaccinated individuals have a low risk of infection, reinforcing the effectiveness of the measles vaccine in preventing the illness. As the launch of Operation Zia Shield nears, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has approved an additional $750,000 to support the deployment of New Mexico National Guard members to Albuquerque, bringing the total allocated funds to $1.5 million. The operation is intended to relieve local police so they can focus more on fighting crime, especially in high-need areas like the International District. The latest executive order issued this week follows the initial order from April 9th. Both were aimed at protecting public health and minimizing harm. The governor's office says more orders may be issued as needed to keep the mission adequately funded. Under the plan, 71 National Guard members will assist Albuquerque police with non-law enforcement tasks, such as directing traffic, securing crime scenes, and supporting overdose response efforts. While they won't carry firearms or make arrests, they will be equipped with pepper spray and Narcan used to reverse opioid overdoses. They will also receive training in self-defense and crisis intervention. Though the official deployment date is set to begin over Memorial Day weekend, some activities are already underway. The mission is expected to last at least 6 months, and no end date has been set. This deployment comes at the request of Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina, who described it as a strategic move to let officers refocus on violent crime and public safety. The governor's ability to issue $750,000 in funding orders stems from a long-standing state law, which has led to dozens of similar executive orders in recent years, particularly for wildfire and emergency responses. Former Rio Arriba County Sheriff Billy Merrifield died last month from an accidental overdose involving fentanyl and alcohol. That's according to an autopsy report released by the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator on Thursday. The 50-year-old's cause of death was listed as, quote, accidental due to combined toxic effects of the powerful synthetic opioid and alcohol. The autopsy revealed a blood alcohol concentration of 0.071 and 23 nanograms per millimeter of fentanyl, a dosage well within the fatal range, as fentanyl is 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine. Merrifield was found dead in his patrol vehicle on Easter Sunday outside of his home near the Albuquerque Reservoir. New Mexico State Police, who led the preliminary investigation, initially described the death as, quote, unexpected. His passing highlights the ongoing effects of the fentanyl crisis in New Mexico. A January report from the Department of Health noted that fentanyl was involved in 65% of overdose deaths statewide in 2023. Despite this, total overdose fatalities in New Mexico have dropped 8% since peaking in 2021 with 1,029 deaths. Merrifield had served as sheriff in one of New Mexico's most rural and historically underserved counties, and his death adds a personal dimension to the state's battle with opioid addiction and overdose. And starting next school year, freshmen at Manzano, Cibola, and Highland High Schools in Albuquerque will begin a new journey through career academies, a program designed by Albuquerque Public Schools to align students' coursework with potential career paths. The initiative is part of a district-wide push to improve student outcomes and boost post-secondary readiness in New Mexico's largest school district. Unveiled by APS Superintendent Gabriella Blakey during an Economic Forum of Albuquerque event, the academies aim to re-engage students by making education more relevant and career-focused. Students will choose a career path and receive tailored instruction that links directly to career opportunities and college preparedness. The pilot launch at these 3 schools was based on their strong school culture and readiness to implement the model. The district plans to expand to more high schools in the 2026-2027 school year, guided by workforce data and local economic needs. Blakey noted that the current education system is a, quote, hit and miss in terms of student engagement, and emphasized that the academies will instill perseverance, work ethic, and real-world relevance. The program is being launched in partnership with United Way of North Central New Mexico, which aims to raise $500,000 over 5 years to support the implementation. United Way CEO Rodney Prunty emphasized that the model will be inclusive, ultimately reaching all students in all APS high schools. The initiative supports APS's broader goals adopted in 2023 to prepare students for life after high school through community-driven strategies. APS Board Vice President Courtney Jackson praised Blakey's rapid rollout and strategic leadership, calling the shift a much-needed structural change for the district. If you like hearing all of the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal here on the Leading News, consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Albuquerque Journal. You can check our show notes for a discount code on a digital subscription and keep up with all the latest news from New Mexico's leading. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast. Today you can expect sunny skies with a high near 83, and as for this evening, mostly clear with a low around 48. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the Leading News. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back on Monday.